I am director and curator of the Cardinal Collection Educational Foundation.
The Cardinal collection seems to feature fine quality numismatics. You have another exciting piece here. Can you describe the coin you've brought with you this time?
Yes, the piece on display at this show is the 1792 half-dime 5-cent silver piece, struck in 1792, even before the mint took a residence in its ultimate facilities. Coin struck in the basement of sawmaker John Harper. And this particular specimen is the single finest known, graded as MS68. So virtually perfect, and certainly considering the unbelievably barbaric conditions in the basement of a sawmaker in 1792, just extraordinary that it has survived thus far in perfection.
In terms of finding these things, how do these items end up in the collection?
Well, as curator, I scan bourse floors, I look through auction catalogs, I speak with various coin dealers and other collectors, and sometimes, just out of the blue, someone will contact me and say, I've just heard of such and such being available. Sometimes it's more of me out of the blue contacting someone and learning something that was available, and learned that this particular piece was available spring of 2007. And actually worked out a deal. It became part of the holdings of the foundation in 2007.
And just again, what is the significance of this particular piece for U.S. numismatics?
Well, this particular piece, I mean, the issue itself, the 1792 half-dime, was one of the denominations specifically mentioned in the Mint Act of 1792 that gave charter to the U.S. Mint to make coins. And of those denominations, it was the very first to be struck. So this truly represents the very first issue of coins made by the fledgling United States for circulation that, of course, later blossomed into more than 200 years of numismatics and everything we have here at the show, all of these dealers and all of these collectors. This particular coin itself it traces its pedigree back to the director of the mint in those days, the person overseeing the purchase of the mint facilities, the hiring of the people who made the dies, the hiring of the people who smelted the metal to turn them into planchets, to turn them into coins, hired the people who made the coins. And this particular coin, that the director's name was David Rittenhouse, personally appointed to that post by then President George Washington. And this particular coin was held in the family of David Rittenhouse from 1792 when struck until 1919, where it came to light and was included in the American Numismatic Association's auction in the summer of 1919 by auctioneer Henry Chapman.
Is it true they used Martha Washington's silver to make it?
Well, that has been a long-standing story, and certainly there may be some kind of underlying indirect method by which Martha's silverware made reimbursement for it. But the letters that we have, and as you can see on the display behind me, the exchange of letters of authorization between David Rittenhouse and Thomas Jefferson and George Washington show that George Washington authorized the production, and the production of the actual coins happened within days afterwards. So it was just not enough time for Martha to give her silverware, have it melted, have it turned into planchets, have it struck into coins. From date of approval on July 9th to date of delivery on July 13th, 1792, there just wasn't enough time. But could it be that Martha then gave up her silverware to be able to repay those who actually provided the metal that was used at the time? Certainly a possibility. While many people are familiar with the way the mint works today, they get their mailings from the mint, hey, these are going to be available, you can buy them. Because the mint is already producing them, not producing them to order, just producing them under law. That's not the way the mint worked back then. The mint was very, very different. basically their function was to provide coinage to be used in commerce. And so a merchant would come to them, and you hear the term today, can you make change for such and such? Basically, a merchant would go to the mint with a bar of bullion or with foreign coins and say, I need change. Can you make change from this? And the mint would take their bullion, melt it down, turn it into planchets, coin them into coins. The merchant would even select which denominations they wanted. And then some period of time later, those merchants would get back their bullion in US coin form. So at the time that these were made, somebody had given the metal to the mint that was used to make these coins. It likely wasn't Martha's metal, but it was likely somebody that wanted to get something in return, and maybe they got Martha's metal in return.
Cool story.
It's really an amazing piece, and it's an honor for the Cardinal Collection Educational Foundation to be vested with the custodial stewardship of this piece.